The Manhattan Alien Abduction. Um, Netflix documentary series that came out October 30th. So I watched it and I enjoyed it for the most part. I really did. Just as a synopsis before I really get into it, because I had a different thought process for how to do this video, and then I found out some stuff a couple of days ago. This doc series is about a woman named Linda who got abducted in her apartment back in 1980 something. And the series it follows her. It follows a guy named Bud Hopkins, and a woman named Carol. And the question looms: was this whole thing a hoax? Right? Because after a while, she starts to get her family involved. Her child is involved, and later on throughout the series, that he does speak on his experience. She went through a couple of different interviews back then, Ricky Lake and Oprah. My thoughts on this video, my thoughts on this doc video. Well, first of all, before I even get into that, so the reason why I'm saying this is I had a different thought process of how to do this video is that I found it a couple of days ago is that the woman named Linda is suing Netflix because she felt that she was being portrayed in a very negative light. She felt that she was being portrayed as a villain, and she felt that she did the documentary series under false pretenses. Now, I have a problem with this lawsuit because, first of all, let's not sit there and try to act like you didn't know what you were getting into. That's number one. Because for years, people have claimed that she has been hoaxing this whole thing. You know, if you watch the series and you watch people, because Bud Hopkins, one of the things is that he hypnotizes a lot of different alien abductees, right? And of all the different ones, hers come across as the most off. Like when she's supposedly under hypnosis, she doesn't sound or she doesn't talk like she's under hypnosis. She talks like she's just recanting her story that she memorized for years. That's number one. Number two, I'm not sitting there saying that it's not possible that she didn't get abducted back then in Manhattan. But I've always viewed aliens and alien abductions like the mob, right? They're heard, but they're not seen. And usually when these abductions take place, they're in very isolated places. New York is a city that never sleeps. So it's just kind of odd. I know it was at night and I know it was during a blackout. And I've know that in the series they had about 20 something people that saw this whole thing. But how often have you heard of people being abducted in New York City? The city that never sleeps. Like that's a ballsy, brazen move right there. If we do that in Alaska, Ohio, whatever, Long Island, that makes more sense. I'm not saying that she didn't do it because I know that stories like that it makes it hard for people to come forward. But when you watch the series, there's just things that don't add up. But let's talk about this lawsuit for a hot minute. So she's suing them because she felt like she got portrayed in a negative light. But in my personal opinion, I felt it was Carol that was being the villain in this whole series. Like I felt like Linda was actually the victim because Carol, after a while, she started to question her husband, Bud Hopkins' methods. he felt that he was taking advantage of these people that would be coming to him, that would trust him, that would be going under hypnosis and everything like that. And after her talking to him and questioning him, and he was just like, listen, he just wasn't going to hear it. She felt it was her quote unquote duty to do the right thing. And by do the right thing, means ruining his reputation. And that just annoyed me on a whole different level because your reputation is pretty much all you have. And to have your own wife undermine you, I feel like it's just completely and utterly disrespectful. So for Linda to sit there and say, well, I felt like I was the villain in this whole thing, it's like, really? Have you watched it? Now, Linda has been getting criticism for years for, being called a faker, a liar, a hoaxer, and everything like that. Right? She went on countless shows. She's never sat there, as far as I understand, she's never sat there and sued any of them. She volunteered to sit there and do this doc series with Netflix. So what? She read some stuff online and a couple of negative opinions. Now she's like, oh, I want to sit there and sue. This just comes across as like she wants money. Because let's be honest, boo, your reputation wasn't really that great back then. Now, again, I'm not just saying that she faked it or anything like that because I do believe in aliens. I cannot sit there and think in my mind that we are the only creatures or living creatures in this universe. Also, one of the very few things that actually creeps me out because if this thing is real, let's just sit there and say this actually happened to her. That is probably among the most scariest things to happen to someone. Because these things will come, they will get you. There is nothing you can do. There's no locks, there's no security, there's no nothing. If they want you, that is it. And I cannot sit there and think of anything more terrifying than knowing that you it's out of your control. So if this did happen to her, I genuinely do feel for her, and I feel for any person that has ever went through this. I It's sad that she's going this route. I I don't know. Maybe again, this is either for money or her feelings. I don't know. But again, I think that if we're gonna sit there and look at a villain throughout this whole doc series, it's gonna be Carol. Okay, that's just my personal opinion on it. Other than that, if you are a UFO enthusiast or whatever, I would sit there and say watch it. It's pretty good. And just sit there and think for a hot minute, if they took her in a city that never sleeps, that is a ballsy move. Also, I think you should watch it because if this whole lawsuit thing um, goes her way, yeah, that doc series is not going to be in the catalog. So you should definitely watch it now if you are a enthusiast of UFOs and stuff like that. All in all, I generally enjoyed the doc series. I thought it was pretty good. If you watched it, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts are on this whole her lawsuit and everything like that. And if there's another doc series out there that's that involves UFOs or whatever that you want to recommend, let me know in the comment section as well. I'll see you in the next video.